Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Kenza Farooq. Now let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Sri Lanka and Maldives to further strengthen cooperation in trade, investment and a number of other main areas. The strike by railway locomotive engineers suspended. Sri Lankan Airlines receives the award for the best airline in South Asia. Tissa Kuttiarachchi unconditionally regrets his statement on the president in court. July elders' allowance to bank accounts by tomorrow. Educational reforms to be conducted stepwise, says the Prime Minister. Nallur Kovil annual festival commences. 17 persons perish in a Russian attack on a Ukraine prison. 42 wounded.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. President Anukumar Dissanayake is currently on a state visit to the Maldives, and he had held bilateral discussions with Maldivian President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu yesterday afternoon at the Maldivian President's office. Upon his arrival at the Maldivian President's office, President Dissanayake was warmly welcomed by Maldivian President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu. After President Dissanayake signed the guest book, the two leaders posed for an official photograph. Following this, the bilateral discussions between the President and the Maldivian President commenced. After the discussions, agreements were exchanged between both parties. This included a memorandum of understanding between the Foreign Service Institute of Maldives and the Bandaranaike Diplomatic Training Institute, as well as an agreement on mutual legal assistance. These agreements are expected to strengthen relations and cooperation between the Maldives and Sri Lanka across various sectors. The first agreement aims to provide mutual legal assistance in criminal matters, while the second is a memorandum of understanding on diplomatic training and the exchange of related information and documents between the respective institutions. The agreement was arranged by Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdullah Khalil on behalf and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Hera on behalf of Sri Lanka. Subsequently, President Anukumar Dissanayake and Dr. Mohamed made statements to the media and the state visit to the
surrounded by our share with our president wants with formal diplomatic countries. We are also commemorating a time-honored friendship rooted in mutual respect and cooperation. I am confident that Your Excellency's visit to Maldives will further strengthen the close neighborly bonds and broaden the scope of our engagements. I commended President Dissanayake for the progress made in overcoming the recent economic challenges faced by Sri Lanka. We are confident that under Your Excellency's able leadership, Sri Lanka will continue on a path towards a more resilient and inclusive economy. I expressed my sincere appreciation to the President for hosting a large number of in Sri Lanka. I would like to thank the government of Sri Lanka for its recent decision to issue medical and spouse visas for a period of 1 year for Maldivians residing in Sri Lanka. I conveyed our deep appreciation to the people and government of Sri Lanka for the vital role played by Sri Lanka in the human resource development of the Maldives.
President Anukumar Dissanayake said that Sri Lanka and Maldives have enjoyed long-standing relations dating back to the centuries. Our two countries, being Indian Ocean littoral states, have been enriched by our association with the ancient maritime trade routes and shared histories. Tourism is a key economic driver for both our countries. In this context, the two leaders also exchanged views on collaboration in the tourism sector. The two parties discussed matters of enhancing aviation cooperation, especially in increasing air connectivity. As island nations in the Indian Ocean, there is a great potential in the fisheries and ocean sector. Enhancing cooperation in innovative and sustainable fishing practices was also discussed. Views on the provision of transit passengers for Sri Lanka fishing vessels for smooth access to the Arabian Sea and further means of cooperation was also shared. Sri Lanka and Maldives are deeply committed towards environmental protection. Sri Lankan government has embarked on the Clean Sri Lanka program, which is implemented through the three main pillars of social development, environmental development and ethical development. In sustainability, elevates Sri Lanka and the entire Sri Lankan society to a higher level. While commending President Moizu for the successful implementation of the Maldives Clean Environment Project for solid waste management, Sri Lanka acknowledged the importance of collaborative efforts in countering the challenges of climatic change and global warming. Sri Lanka has set a target to generate 70% of its electricity from renewable sources by 2030. With a view to realizing this target, the Sri Lanka proposed deepened cooperation in the renewable energy sector between our two countries. Views on cooperation in the fields of defense, security and country counter-terrorism cooperation was exchanged. In the regional and multilateral cooperation domain, Sri Lanka thanked for the support extended by Maldives to the island nation and expressed assurance of Sri Lanka's support to Maldives. Both our countries have consistently exchanged support at various international organizations, and both countries are committed to continue our cooperation with each other. An invitation was also extended to His Excellency President Dr. Mohammad Moizu to visit Sri Lanka at a mutually convenient date. President of the Maldives hosted a state banquet in honor of President Anurukumar Dissanayake, who is currently on a state visit to the Maldives, last night at the Kurumba Resort, Maldives. The dinner was organized at Maldivian President Dr. Mohammad Moizu and First Lady. The Sri Lanka delegation, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Herath, participated in this occasion.
The Deputy Speaker of the Maldivian Parliament and 5 cabinet ministers from the Maldivian government visited the Kurumba Maldives resort today to hold discussions with President Anurukumar Dissanayake. Those who met with the President included Ahmed Nazim, Deputy Speaker of the Maldivian Parliament, Dr. Abdullah Khalil, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mohammed Saeed, Minister of Economic Development and Trade, Mohammed Ghassan Maumun, Minister of Defence, Musa Zamir, Minister of Finance and Planning, and Ali Ihussan, Minister of Homeland Security and Technology. They expressed their gratitude to President Dissanayake for his state visit to the Maldives. They conveyed their confidence that the visit, which marks the 60th anniversary of strong diplomatic relations between the two nations, will lay the foundation for deeper cooperation, broader understanding and an even stronger friendship in the future. Minister of Foreign Affairs Vijitha Herath and a group of senior public officials also participated in this discussion.
And meanwhile, General Manager of Railways Dhammika Jayasundara requested locomotive operating engineers to take steps to solve their problems through negotiations without causing inconvenience to the passengers. The General Manager of Railways told media when locomotive operating engineers are preparing for a 48-hour strike from tonight. Railway General Manager Dhammika Jayasundara said that their aim was to resolve the existing issues and continue the railway service without interruption. He stated that discussions had been held with that objective in mind, that they had reached an agreement to address the problems and ensure the railway service would operate without disruption. He added that based on the agreements reached, the railway service would continue as usual in the future and that the authorities had agreed to provide solutions to the matters raised by the trade unions. Locomotive Operating Engineers Association also expressed their views in this regard to the media. Chairman of the Locomotive Operating Engineers Association KAU Konta Singh has said that discussions have been successful and that three main objectives was to fulfill vacancies in the special grade as well as to ensure appointments, recruitments and procedures in the higher grades. He stated that the commitment had been made to provide a final solution on the 19th of these three key areas, and that the matter of restrooms would also be addressed through a mechanism starting tomorrow, along with taking initial steps to improve infrastructure facilities. And also, former parliamentarian of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perabuna Janaka Tissakutiarachi informed the Colombo District Court today when he expressed his regret unconditionally regarding the statement he made against President Anurakkumar Dissanayake. A case was filed by Anurakkumar Dissanayake demanding 10 billion rupees of compensation for the defamatory statement made by former parliamentarian Tissakutiarachi was convened today at the Colombo District Courts. President Counsel Uppul Kumara Peruma, appearing for the petitioner Anurakkumar Dissanayake, said that defendant Tissakutiarachi had made this statement without proper confirmation of facts. Then Tissakutiarachi informed the courts that he expressed his regret unconditionally for any damage caused to the petitioner through his statement. Then President's Counsel Uppul Kumara Peruma informed the courts that his client does not expect any relief from the defendant and agreed to compromise the matter with the defendant without further continuing the case. Subsequently, with the agreement of both the parties, the case was settled amicably. In this case, the defendant Tissakutiarachi has been accused of making a false statement that petitioner Anurakkumar Dissanayake has invested a sum of 5 billion rupees in Malta. He had made this statement at an election rally of Sri Lanka Podujana Perabuna held at the Colombo Central Electorate on the 19th of August in 2013. The petitioner had stated that through his statement, the defendant, former parliamentarian, had attempted to discredit him as a corrupted person who raised money from foreigners under hidden objective. The petitioner had also demanded a compensation of 10 billion rupees as compensation for the damage caused to him by the statement. Deputy Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs Attorney at Law Sunil Watagala said that everyone remembered how during that period the then government had levelled baseless allegations against former members of Parliament and ministers. He stated that the stated accusations has been directed to the current President Anurakkumar Dissanayake, claiming that millions of dollars have been sent from several foreign countries into Anurakkumar's accounts and that all those dollars have been pulled together to make an investment of $5 million in Dissanayake. He has said that it is allegedly by President Ranil Wickremesinghe that this $5 million investment have been made and that Dissanayake would face punishment for that wrongdoing. The Deputy Minister pointed out that the District Court had now ruled that all those accusations were baseless and false. He added that even today the current government was facing some unfounded accusations and that the fingers were being pointed at them without any reason. We emphasize that someone points a finger at others, four fingers point back at themselves, and then the government, respecting people's mandate, had faced these baseless allegations with dignity. Deputy Minister Watagala further stated that prominent figures like Janaka Tissakutiarachi had even publicly expressed regret for those unfounded accusations and that it was now clear that many of the misleading campaigns before the presidential election has been proven false. He said that the government had faced all those attacks with hesitation and would continue to do so, remaining strong, responsible, while respecting the whole of the people.
In more local news, Sri Lankan Airlines received the award for the best airline in South Asia recently. The award has been given for providing an excellent service to passengers through the hospitality unique to Sri Lankan Airlines, joining South Asia with the rest of the world. Sri Lankan Airlines has been awarded the best airline in South Asia at the International Tourism Conclave and Travel Awards function. The winners of the award ceremony were decided by a jury consisting of veterans in various areas. This further consolidates the acceptance of the achievement of the airline as the most popular airline in South Asia. The commercial head of Sri Lankan Airlines, Dimuthu Tennakoon, stated that the award is proof to the popularity of the airline in the region by providing an excellent service to the passengers of South Asia. Sri Lankan Airlines operates nearly 90 flights per week at present between Sri Lanka and major other cities such as Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Bangalore in India. The airline operates 8 flights per week to Tiruchirappalli and in India, and it has been a special feature that Sri Lankan Airlines is the first international airline to commence flights to the city. Majority of the tourists into the island are from India, and the Sri Lankan Airlines has initiated a series of special programs targeting this tourist group. Passengers on flights Sri Lankan Airlines get an opportunity to taste Sri Lankan cuisine and various other food along with other facilities provided to them at a specially high level. The Magistrates Court today ordered to detain the organised criminal Hikkaduliyanage Sahan Sisikalum alias Kurunduatte Podda until the 4th of the next month for interrogation. He was arrested by the CID officials this morning at the Katunayaka airport. The suspect was deported from India prior to his arrest. The 32-year-old suspect is a resident of Valigama area and an organised criminal connected to several murders and robberies occurred at Mathura and Panadura areas. Police also stated that he is a close ally of Midigama Chuti, who is a follower of the organised criminal Harakata, who is under arrest at present. The suspect has been handed over to the Kaluta Crime Division for further investigations. The arrested retired senior DIG Priyantha Jayakodi is scheduled to be produced before Mahara Magistrate Court on 6th of August. This order was given by the acting magistrate of Vattala Indikathuraliya today. Until then, he has been ordered to undergo treatment for his illness under the security of prison officials. He was taken into custody yesterday by the CID in connection with an investigation conducted by the CID regarding a threat made to former Minister Tiran Alice and senior DIG Lalit Pathinayaka in the disguise of organised crime gang leader living in abroad.
The Consumer Affairs Authority says that it has been decided to allow the sale of property-packed coconut oil in the future. The decision has been taken after complaints of contaminating unpacked coconut oil with the other ingredients since it has been confirmed after checking of samples. Accordingly, about 75 sales outlets and production institutions island-wide were inspected by the Consumer Affairs Authority, where the samples obtained during the inspection were tested, and it has been detected that other ingredients had been mixed in 22 samples, according to the authority. Chairman of the Consumer Affairs Authority, Hemantha Samarakon, said that in the future there would be cooperation with the Coconut Development Board to ensure that coconut oil would be provided to consumers who were facing hardships, and that work in this regard was already being carried out. A large amount of coconut oil is being imported since the coconut oil production in the country is insufficient. In order to avoid this situation, desiccated coconut is to be imported for coconut oil production. Accordingly, the government has permitted to import 25,000 metric tons of desiccated coconut. By allowing the imports until the 31st of December, around 500 coconut industrialists who are facing the crisis will be able to restart their business. An opportunity will also be provided by this decision to provide clean coconut oil by the Coconut Development Authority to the consumers. Chairman of the Coconut Development Authority, Shanti Pranatunga, said that at present the import tax on copra had been reduced from 330 rupees to 10 rupees, and that based on recommendations of the Coconut Development Board, copra would be given to factory owners at a special concessionary price. He explained that this decision has been taken with the intention of producing coconut oil locally and providing it to customers at an affordable price, in line with the government's expectation of supplying Sri Lanka's people with pure coconut oil produced entirely within the country.
The annual Ther festival at the Nallur Kandaswamy Kovil in Jaffna commenced today with the participation of a large gathering of devotees. The Ther festival will be held for 25 days from today. The Kodiyetram ceremony started at 10 a.m. The final Ther festival will be held on the 21st of next month. It is significant that tens of thousands of devotees annually participate in the festival. This event will be concluded by the Tirtham ceremony to be held on the 22nd of next month. Police say that a special traffic plan and security program is underway covering the Nallur Kandaswamy Kovil and surrounding areas during this period.
On your more local stories this evening, Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasurya says that educational reforms will be carried out step by step. The Premier made these comments joining a program today to enlighten the officials of the Kurunegala District Education Zone on the new educational reforms. The program was held at the auditorium of the Kurunegala District Secretariat. Educational authorities, other state officials and other severals were present at this occasion. Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasurya said that the reforms are not about introducing a new textbook but is to be about to transform the entire system. During her address to the gathering, the Prime Minister elaborated more on educational reforms. The Premier emphasized that through the past administration discussed educational reforms, they failed to allocate the necessary resources including qualified human capital, infrastructure and funding. She further said that the government is engaged in a well-structured public dialogue and the preparations are underway to shape the necessary shifts in local social statutes and attitudes. She further highlighted the necessity of having a responsible dialogue within the society regarding educational reforms.
ඉස්කෝලේ ඉන්නේ. මේ නිසා මේ පිළිබඳව දැඩි අවධානය අපි සියලු විද්වතුන් යොමු කරන්න වෙයි. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ පාසල්
Driver of the crane who was arrested relating to the road accident occurred near the Barala Cemetery roundabout yesterday has been remanded until the 7th of next month. The order was given by the Colombo Traffic Magistrate Court today. Owner of the crane was also produced before courts and he was ordered to be released on a personal bail worth 500,000 rupees. The police informed the courts that the judicial medical officer has reported that the suspected driver was under influence of cannabis at the time of the accident. It has been revealed by the investigation that the driver has taken the vehicle, well aware of the technical failures in the crane. It has run for about 200 meters without functioning brakes. It is said that the owner of the vehicle has not properly maintained it. According to the 169th clause of the Motor Traffic Act, if driver of such a heavy vehicle is deployed for about 8 to 12 hours work, he should be given a break of 10 hours before the job. However, it has been revealed that the driver has not been given such a break. According to the police, a crane bound to Bauda Lokamavata from Rajagiri last morning had experienced a failure in brake system and advanced forward without uncontrollably. Then it had crashed 6 motorbikes and 2 motor cars, killing a person and injuring 7 others.
A clean beach line, attractive tourist destination program parallel to the Clean Sri Lanka program commenced this morning at the Crown's Island, Mutwal. A unique feature of this program is that it is being implemented at 253 places simultaneously in the island with the participation of 10,000 officials of the Sri Lanka Army. The program commenced under the guidance of Commander of Army Lieutenant General Lasanta Rodrigo. Valuable contributions were made in this program by the Presidential Secretariat, Marine Environmental Protection Authority and several other institutions along with the general public. Chairman of the Marine Environmental Protection Authority, Samantha Gunasekara, pointed out that since there is a 10% concentration of plastic wastage in beaches and another 80% of silt waste deposits, the situation can be termed as alarming. They pointed out that the minute particles of plastics consumed by fish enter human body causing cancer. The inaugural function was attended by Additional Secretary of the President and General Secretary of Clean Sri Lanka Program, Engineer S.P. Sugishwara and other severals. Cleaning of the beach line in Galle, Ambalangoda and Akurila was also commenced in the morning today, parallel to the beach cleaning program in 14 districts. Commander of the 61st Infantry, Major General Shehan Fernando, along with army officials and government institutions, joined the program centered towards the divisional secretariat divisions of the district. Participation of the foreign nationals in the cleaning of the beaches was also a unique feature of the program. Another related program was also implemented around Darugambe tourist zone at Kalamune Akure Pattu. Parallel to the program, a stretch of about 5 kilometers of the beach in the area was cleaned under the program with the participation of the Sri Lanka Navy, police, civil community organizations and a number of other parties. Cleaning of the beach area around the Gold Face Green in Colombo also commenced this morning today under the leadership of the members of the Sri Lanka Army. Residents around the area also participated in the program.
Few more local news items in brief. The allowance for the elders for the month of July of the Aswasama beneficiary families is to be credited to the relevant bank accounts tomorrow. The Welfare Beneficiary Board says that a sum of over 3 billion rupees will be credited to the accounts of 600,768 beneficiaries from tomorrow. Police stated that a fire broke out yesterday at an umbrella factory along the Gampola-Navalapitiya road, spread to adjacent buildings, causing heavy damages to 2 doctors' quarters. Fire Brigade in Kandy, the police, Gampola Urban Council and the army had managed to douse the fire with the support of the villagers as well. Champika Nilanta Samagi Janabalavegi councillor of Yatunuwara Pradeshya Sabha has committed suicide by hanging. He was at the age of 52 years at the unfortunate incident. It was reported that his wife and elder daughter had also died. He was also a former chairman of a Pradeshya Sabha. Peradeniya police are conducting further investigations into the incident.
The Vesak Poor Day was declared as a holiday in Texas in the USA in 2024. A media briefing has been organized today to enlighten the local, state and religious leaders regarding the State Vesak Festival, which is scheduled to be held in Texas in 2026. Venerable Malpitiya Vibalakirti Thera said that during this year's Vesak celebrations in Austin, the governor had declared that from then on, the 15th of May each year would be celebrated as a National Vesak Day and that this recognition had been accepted at the state level. He said that they were informing Buddhist countries of the achievement so that it could be celebrated, and then they were planning to organize a large-scale Vesak festival in 2026. He explained that the arrangements had been made for monks to travel from Dallas and Austin, with around 200 monks preparing to take part in Pintapatha in the city while introducing the rope to America even more widely. He added that they hope to make the maximum use of the opportunity given to the Buddhists and organize Vesak Day with the necessary support. Parliamentarian Ashoka Rangwala said that there was a political necessity in the country today regarding how Sri Lanka was presenting itself to the world and that what avenues were open for Sri Lanka internationally. He stated the arrival of the Sri Lanka monks had already brought significant progress and this recognition is a reflection of Sri Lanka values of the world state. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Now in your international news, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky says that at least 27 people, including 16 inmates and a pregnant woman, have been killed in Russian air attacks, Times New Roman, on southeastern Ukraine throughout yesterday. The attacks came overnight, a day after United States President Donald Trump set Russia a new deadline of 10 or 12 days to reach a peace deal in its war on Ukraine or face tough new sanctions. Shortening a 50-day deadline he had set earlier this month, Ivan Fedorov, head of the military administration in Zaporizhia, said Russia carried out 8 overnight air attacks on his region alone, hitting a prison near the city of Zaporizhia. Zelensky said a pregnant woman was among 3 people killed in a Russian missile attack on the city of Kamyansk. In your sports news, golf women's team was able to win the championship of the Under-19 Youth League Women's T20 Cricket Tournament.
And they beat the Colombo team in the finals held today. The final was played at the NCC grounds in Colombo. Batting first, Galle women's team scored 143 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in their 20 overs. Netangi Izuranjali scored an unbeaten 77 runs while Rashmi Netanjali made a valuable contribution of 39 runs. In reply, the Colombo women's team was able to score just 53 runs of all out in 12 overs. Onali Adisha and Netuki Kudiligama scored 11 runs each. Shehara Induveri captured 4 wickets for 10 runs, while Diniti Pratibhashini claimed 2 wickets. Accordingly, the Galle women's team registered a 90-run victory. And with that sports update, we'll be wrapping up the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Charita, signing off with Kinza. Stay safe and good night.
Good night.